sure that we use the same terminology and have the same conceptual understanding of how it works in Sigma. I think, there's nothing new to building assemblies and how assemblies work, but just make sure, we're thinking in the same way. So one thing worth mentioning in Sigma, Sigma is just like Word and Excel. It's a file-based system, so very Microsoft Office-like. And what we do is that we can use libraries in Sigma. Libraries is where you would put your assemblies. Assemblies could be like huge assemblies that is complete walls, roofing structures, etc. It could also be more like single unit prices, just single materials, labors, whatever. It's what you put into it. Anyway, you can create as many libraries as you like, and if you're using, for example, the RSMeans books with Sigma, each book or database is one library in Sigma. So that's how it works, and also it's worth mentioning that these libraries, they're just stored in library files, which you can put on a file server, put in a shared directory, email to someone, put in Dropbox, etc. So that's how it's used. So what I can show you when we switch to Sigma is just how to create a new library, how to create a structure in, and how to put some assemblies in it. So I think, well, that's what there is to say about libraries. So it can be your own libraries that you build up. You build as a end user. You can build a library. You can build it to your clients. You can use third-party databases like RSMeans, something like that. So any questions to that?
I'm good.
Okay, good. So let's see if I can switch to the next slide here. Yeah. So I think these examples are from RSMeans, and that's the way we see the world as well. So they have single unit prices and they have assemblies. Those two different things. So our understanding is that assemblies are built up from single unit prices. So let's start with single unit price, which could be this concrete block partition. And what you can see here is just, again, I know you're probably more experts to assemblies and all that stuff than I am, but just to make sure we have the same terminology and understanding. So this single unit price is about piling up these blocks, and this one is measured in square feet. So what it consists of is the labor, the materials, and equipment, etc. that is required for each square feet. So, for example, bricklayers, 3.3 minutes for each square foot. Helpers, and how many concrete blocks for each square foot. So this is how we think about it in Sigma. Does that make sense? And is that the same way you look at it?
For me, yes.
Okay, good. And in Sigma, I will show you the exact same example as this one and how it's represented in Sigma as well. Okay, so I'll switch to the next slide here. Yeah, and by the way, in Sigma you will also see that we structure the same way, but we just put labels on. Say the first two are labor, and the third one is materials, and that's how we can separate it in the analysis modules and stuff. So yeah. So the next slide here, this is an assembly. So an assembly can consist of multiple single unit lines. So this one is a complete wall. Again, it's measured in square feet. So for each square foot, we need 1 square foot of these concrete block partitions. We need some reinforcing bars. We need some control joints. And as you remember from the first slide before, this concrete block was again divided into the bricklayers, etc. And the same goes for this reinforcing bars consisting of labor and some materials and control joints as well. So this is just how we do it. And again, so we actually, when you want to build a new assembly, you will start at this level up here and say, good, so we want to build a concrete block wall. We define that we measure this in square feet. And for each of those, we need 1 square foot of concrete block partitions, 0.8 length feet per square foot for these reinforcing bars, etc. So this is just the basic structure, and yeah, again, terminology around this. Any questions to this?
Nope.
Okay, great. So I will just jump into Sigma and show you how to create a new library. That's it, yeah. So let's close everything here in Sigma. Right, so do you see Sigma on the screen now?
Got it.
Got it.
Very good.
Yeah, So I switch to the libraries here. I can create a new library, and we could call it CFO on the go. Is it CFOs on the go?
Yeah, we're good. That's good. That's our short name.
Good. So just so we can identify it again. So this is just like creating a new estimate. You just create a new library, and you could create any kind of structure you wanted to. You could use like CSI master format or whatever, or you could create your own. So I'll just make like walls, roofing, groundworks, whatever. And you can subdivide again the walls. You can say we wanted inner walls, outer walls, etc. So again, you can create whatever structure you wanted to have. So when it comes to outer walls here, let's say we wanted to create an assembly here. Could be this concrete block wall. Yeah. So you can see actually when I'm typing here, it's looking into my existing databases, so it's trying to find these things. So this is the way to do it. Concrete block wall, start typing in whatever single unit prices are needed for, etc. Instead of typing all of this, I'll just reopen the library I had and show you exactly how it ends up to look. That's not the folder. Here we are. Oh, by the way, Dennis, I think I forgot to send you this file. I promise to do it right after this. So yeah, so here I have the assembly I just showed on the slideshow. The concrete block wall. It's made out of these 3 single unit prices, which again consist of these labor items, etc. So I hope you recognize this is the assembly and how it's structured. It looks very much like the slide. What I could do was to just let me take a copy here. So I'll just copy it down into the new library we made here. That's it. You can see when I drag drop something, everything follows with it. I'll just minimize this one, save the library we just created. It's suggesting this name for the library, save it. And then I think if I switch back to library here, you can see now the library is found right here. So that's an easy way to open it again every time you need it. So one thing I'd like to show you is like if I point to this one, you can see that for single unit prices, you can see these were the quantities for each square foot of the wall. If I click to the concrete block walls, you could see I had something about bricklayer, how much time is needed, all these things. So the important thing is to take a structure like this, try to put it into your estimate and see what happens. So I'll just create a new estimate here. Put in a heading like walls. Use the concrete block wall like that. Put in like 1,000 square feet. And then if I go to resources here, for example, you'll see. I'm sorry, I have commas for decimal separators here. I just always forget to switch it around for US demos. So this is 37.2 hours for bricklayer helpers. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay, good. Yeah, good. So you can see if I go back and change this into like 2,000 square feet instead, go back to resources, now all these figures have doubled. So you create an assembly just by typing in a line, subdividing into several other lines, subdividing those into again some resource lines, which are then labeled with a category, and that's basically it. And you can take a copy of this one. So if I wanted to, I could do like a let me show you copy. Go to this one, paste, and maybe this would be a. Not sure if there's an 8x8, but let's say there is. And I can just go and modify what's different in this one. So that way I can easily create a huge library with a lot of assemblies in it. Actually what we like to do is to start from some kind of a bottom-up approach. So first we define the materials and the labor items and all that stuff, and then start building the single unit price and then build the assemblies out of that. That might be the best way if you need to build a huge library or something. So that's for something we help our clients set up a strategy for. We also sometimes import existing spreadsheets to make that as a new library, and then they have something that they can continue working on. So many ways of using this. So this is the very basic way of creating assemblies. It's not very complicated, and yeah, you can do it very easily. And then the last time, last Monday, I also showed you some more advanced assemblies where you can put some scripting system on it. So my question is, would you like me to show you that as well, or should we spend a little more time on these?
I'd like to do that myself.
Oh, okay, great. So I'll just close this library and show you the more advanced stuff. So again, this is just from the Irish Means book, and then you know, with Sigma you have some sample databases from Irish Means. You can use that to see how it works in Sigma as well. So the other ones, we call them smart assemblies, and the concrete block wall I just showed you. What I did was to take a copy of that from Irish Means and put some scripting stuff on top of it to show how it works. So let me show you. Take this one, put it into my assembly. So now instead of just putting in the line of the assembly, whatever here, it actually pops up to ask me a few questions, like what's the height and the length, and you can do like a little math here if you like as well. The rebar distance, for example, just putting in some numbers here, the control joint spacing, and these can be pre-filled with some default values, and then using change it and stuff. So these things would be like, what would be the top 3, 4, 5 questions to ask to do a good estimate of such an assembly here. And this is just an example. May not be the best, but it's a good example to show you. So this is how the user would just put in, answer these questions, say okay, and they would have like, okay, so the total area would be 550 square feet. But the interesting stuff is how everything down here is modified by the scripts behind it. So for example, you can see there's no scaffolding used here. You can see the lines are grayed out. The quantity is 0. But let's try it just for the fun to say it's a 10 height. Now you can see that the frame system scaffold is actually enabled because now it's a higher wall and you need some kind of a scaffolding. So, and you can do very advanced algorithms for things, so you can make it very easily. So this is how smart assemblies work, and that's something that either for our future clients, that some of the super users are building these assemblies themselves, but other times we help them as consultants to build some smart assemblies that use 80% of the time for most of their constructions. I think there's huge potential to do some client-specific assemblies here, but also maybe to provide some more generic assemblies for the market. So that might be a business opportunity as well. And yeah, so any questions so far to that?
No, I got to take another call. I'm going to put you guys on hold for just a second.
Sure, that's fine. Yeah, so yeah, I think I got it. Last time I missed a piece there, so I think I got it this time. So I'm going to go try and build a couple of these. Okay. And then what was the other thing I struggled with? I can't remember. So like this right here, this 1.26, this frame scaffold, right?
Yeah.
What's behind that? Can you show me the details? Like, how does it know when it's supposed to do that and when it's not? So there's got to be a formula somewhere.
Exactly. Yes. So what you can see is that there's a small flash lightning here, which shows there's scripting behind it. And if I go to the tool section, sorry, the data section here, I can edit the script.
Okay.
So what you can see is that once you do this, and we may need to have another session around how to use the scripting system, because it's not complicated. You just need a good example. Maybe if I send you this, it's good enough for you to do it. But so we have the dialog script. This is what actually asks the user about height, length, all this stuff. So you can see there's just a few functions you need to learn, but like set the title on the window that pops up, what image to use to show. Let me just go back and show you again that. So the title is here, for example.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to have to excuse myself for about 15 minutes. I've got some furniture coming in, and I got to go out to the gate and run the guy in here. So
sure.
I'll be back about 15 minutes.
And Jim, I'm recording it as well, so you're not going to miss anything. I was going to send you a recording. So when you get back, get back.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. So again, this data, it has a title up here. It has some kind of a, what do you call that, comment. So if when I switch the fields, you can see the text actually changes. So these things are controlled very easily by the scripting system. So like use this comment. Get float means, get a number from the user. So this height, for example, let me go back and run it again. That turns out to be this one, an input field when it's supposed to put in a number. And this is the label that goes with it. So you can see it's more or less the thing you would do for all assemblies, just different things you'd be asking the user. But let's come to the question that you raised about the scaffolding. So you see this one, and it's a very fast introduction, I know, but it will ask the user, because we have this get float, it will store the value in total height. So if I go and look at the frame system scaffold here, for example, in the execution part, it will say, so if the total height is more than 10, set the quantity of this used to 1, otherwise to 0.
Okay.
And here you can see you can create, more advanced stuff. So so if it's between some kind of an interval, it would do like this or that, and it could change the unit cost. It could do, regulations. So that's, I think creativity is limited to what you could do with the script assistant, but most of the time it's just doing something like this.
Okay. Yeah, that's similar to some of the stuff we do already. Okay.
Yeah, I imagine it is. And once you're an expert, you can write this in a single line. I just try to put it out like this because it's easy to understand the first time you see it. But it's it's very easy to work with. I think an assembly like this, if you have the knowledge about construction and how to use the scripting system, you wouldn't use more than 10 to 15 minutes to put it together. The thing that would probably take the most time is to figure out a good image to use, whatever. So again, we're building a lot of these smart assemblies for our clients, and yeah, that's very fast. But again, we would love to do a specific session on SQL if you like, and maybe you can look at this and see what.
Yeah, I'll probably jumping the gun a little bit here. So let's where you have gypsum plaster, one side, two sides, right?
Yeah.
Is there a way to insert into the scripting a pop-up for the parts list that'd be appropriate? I'm trying to figure out how to say it. So, like, if I'm doing a tile install, right? I'm installing tile. It may come up and say, is this tile a 4x4, or is it a 12x12, or is it an 8x8 tile that you want to use? And when we select that, obviously production rates change based on the tile. The amount of grout changes by the tile. But is there a way to pop up somewhere where they can pick a size that they want to do? So, and that would then, I would use that, saying, okay, if they selected 12x12, then the grout cost is this per square foot. And if it's 8x8, the grout cost is this. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. So what you would do with something line of this, a tile type, so you could say I want it like a choice, select tile type, set in. So you mentioned you had some examples, 5x5?
Yeah, it's that simple, 4x4, 12x12, 8x8, something real simple. It doesn't make a difference.
Okay. Something like that. Let's try that right away. So you see that creates something.
That's it. Bingo.
Okay, great. And then you can use the value. It will be stored in. Let me show you again in this tile type. So it will have a value, and now you can use this variables anywhere in labor. Yeah, as you said, labor time or tiles types of unit price, whatever. So let's create a good example together around some of this. Maybe you can sketch out something in either just a Word document or in Sigma without a script, and we can put on the script. And that would be a good example to start from.
Yeah, and so in our terminology, and you used it a little while ago, that's what we call a smart assembly.
Good.
Yeah, where the guy's going through there and he's picking out the size he wants, or he's picking out, the manufacturer he wants or something, and then that determines the pricing or whatever. So
yeah, exactly.
And that gives us a lot more flexibility than we have today for less money that we're charging. It's funny, for less than we're charging the customer today, they're getting a whole lot more, And so that's why I'm getting excited.
That's great to hear. And yeah, and the thing is that end users like to just have one assembly around tiles and just, fill out these things, and then they will figure out everything instead of trying to figure out what is the right assembly to use all the time. So that's
and so I'll send. So a perfect example, and I'll send it to you, and I'll print it out. Things like concrete. In our basic estimating, which is our very simple one, we'd have to have an assembly for 6-inch, an assembly for 8-inch thick concrete, an assembly for 10-inch, and an assembly for 4-inch, right? Well, in your case, they're going to come up and they're going to say it's 4-inch, right? But then the next choice in my assembly is, okay, what kind of base material? Are we using native materials? Are we using crushed rock? Are we using whatever? And just based on whatever that selected is, then determines the cost for the base material. So, yeah, we can give you an example of exactly how that would work.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, because let me show you, if we said, I just want to show you one more example. It has nothing to do with the reality here, so I just want to show you.
No, that's fine.
Yeah. So if you choose a 5x5, it will ask for the color. If you choose an 8x8, it won't ask about it. So you can say, yeah. So depending on what you choose, you can come up with new questions related to that, and yeah, so it's similar to this. So I really look forward to building something to get you started.
Okay. Yeah, we've got some good examples from our current estimating modules. So.
Okay.
We get some pretty good screenshots and what have you.
Perfect. And I think on the U.S. market, there's room to actually sell some great assemblies, because we only have the integration with RS Means, and it's good for square foot estimating, I think. But when you go into the contractor market, we need something more advanced like this.
Right. Yeah, and so these are very simple. It's like, just because most of our clients are general contractors, right? So if I'm a general contractor, I know that I have some kind of overhead expenses I have to have for the job, right? Well, the assembly we would have would be, how many weeks is this job going to take? And it's going to take X number of weeks, right? And we'll just say it's 12. And just like you just had. So we're going to say, if it's 12 weeks or less, we don't need a trailer. If it's 12 weeks or more, we want to add a trailer to the bid. And for every week, I need 40 hours of supervision. I need temporary utilities, water, 2 porta potties, portable toilets or whatever, and then it just takes that 12 weeks and extends out exactly what I need. But that's the kind of thing. And it just from the sales point is, it's great that you could maybe add those lines to your Excel spreadsheet. But what if we gave you a list of everything you should include, and then you get to turn off the ones you say yes or no to? You know what? I don't want that on this job. But at least you didn't have to remember to put it in there. You just had to remember to turn it off if you didn't want it. And that's where the power comes. And that's where they see value. Is like, God, I left that out of the last job, or I left that out of the job before that, and so now I wouldn't be able to do that. That's what we're selling. We're selling them, catching their mistakes that they've made in the past.
Right. I really like that. So that's a perfect example. That's awesome. So how can we help you, Dennis, with this?
Yeah, so Jim and I will probably, now that Jim and I will have this recording to watch, I think we're going to go try and build a couple of assemblies on our own, start building our own database. Most of the clients that use our estimating are general contractors, and I guess you can have the same term, remodelers, which are kind of GCs as well. But in a perfect example, I'm going to come in as a remodeler, and I'm going to give you, I'm going to redo your kitchen. So I have to be able to pick a different level of appliances. I need to pick, which window am I going to install? That kind of thing. And with this, I think we can make it pretty simple. It's still generic, but it's allowing them a lot more choices than they would have in their Excel. And so,
definitely. And then I think we talked about last time, but what you can do is you create this assembly database for some specific business. You can create like, let me show you. So you have these templates. You can create your own templates that goes with that. So if it's remodeling, kitchen remodeling, you may have a better template, with some stuff in it that goes with that. And so together on top of Sigma, you can create a package that is very well suited for specific business, and maybe also some reports that are well suited to that. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, if you can send me your database like you talked about, that'll give us something to look at too. Sure. Jim and I have probably put our heads together. If we said, hey, okay, let's just say I run across a guy that wants estimating and Sigma happens to be the right fit, we would want to have quote unquote a starter database for these guys. And Jim and I had to figure out what that's going to include. I know we can import a lot of stuff pretty easily, as far as parts that they can kind of select on the fly. We'll probably build them some very basic assemblies, and I'll show you a couple. We'll send you a couple samples of ones. One I can think of, and it's hard to explain, so let me think of where, and I don't even have it. I'm finished. So like if I'm a general contractor, right, and I'm taking prices from subcontractors on about 90% of my work, I'd want an assembly where I just say, I need to take a price from electrical, I need a price from a framing, I need a price from a roofer, and then once I click all those yeses, it builds my spreadsheet of all of those subtrades so that I can start taking prices for each of those subtrades. So it's not like I'm selecting each subtrade independently. It's like I just checked off all these boxes, in a cool question thing like that script like you had. These are the ones I need to get prices from. That creates an assembly or an estimate with all of those guys listed, where now I start taking prices, I start listing who the low subcontractor is, that kind of thing, and then I can start pricing my bid out.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see how we can get the best out of that. You may also want to try out, we have a specific feature also for subcontractors, so if you said like, let's see, plumbing. So you have like, what you can do is to say page type, so you can add here tasks that need to be carried out. Task 1, task 2, and then you can put in your suppliers, so supplier 1, supplier 2, etc. So you get this matrix, and you can put in like the bids they're coming up with.
Okay.
Like this. And then you can select, okay, so I want to use supplier 1 for this, or I want to use, supplier 1 to do some of the stuff and the other one to do other parts of the stuff, etc. So there's something built in here. Maybe you can use that together with scripting to do exactly what you need.
So just to give you an idea, so we sell three levels of estimating, right, from Sage, basic, standard, and extended. What you just showed me is only available in the extended version, and that's $4,500 a user. So if somebody says, I want to be able to do what you just showed me how to do there, I want to list my suppliers, I want to be able to select which one I want to use, and I want to make sure that's the price that goes into my bid, they have to upgrade to the $4,500 version to get that kind of functionality. So that's,
exactly.
That's what gets me excited. We got that for $79 a month, right? How's somebody going to beat me on that?
Yeah, that's right. So I'm happy to hear that. And then, we haven't talked about our pricing model in the U.S. If you have some feedback and good suggestions and what would work better for you, feel free to give us any kind of feedback. So.
Right. Hey, you know what? And I mean, I like to make a little bit of money on this, but here's the way that, and again, I'm a bit more of a big picture guy and a long-term guy, even though probably I should be retiring, but I'm having too much fun. The way we look at your product, the way we're looking at your product is I think it's a great solution, number one. Two is I can go to a client, there's a smaller client or a guy that's not really ready for a big product yet. Thanks for look. Here's the pricing. It's a subscription thing. We have a database so we can sell you for a few $100. But here's the way I'm looking at it long term, and I mean a year or two down the road. If that guy came to me and I showed him an estimating program, and I'm just going to use $79 a month as an example. And we got this guy a program that cost him $79 a month. He got a database. We taught him how to use it. Where everybody else was trying to sell him a $4, $5, $6, $10,000 solution, right? When it's time to step up and buy an accounting solution or a project management solution, I have to believe that the first phone call he's going to make is to us to see if we have something for him.
Absolutely.
And that's the way I'm looking at this, is that, if I sow enough seeds out there at this level, that they'll come back to me over time as additional Sage 100 or Sage 300 sales, because they should trust us that we didn't screw them over the first time we met with them, and we won't do it this time. And that's what we're looking at your product as, planting the seeds for future work for us. But in addition, it's going to give my clients something that they need. It's going to give my consultants like Jim and those guys billable hours for something that that's a lot better, a lot more fun to do than what we're doing right now.
Okay, that's a great way to see it. Yeah, I like that. And and you can do some consultancy and training and whatever on top of it as well.
So the guy goes, hey, I want to add some more lines to the thing, or you know what, I know I can do that myself, but you know what, here's 10 smart assemblies I need to get built. Can you give me a quote for that? And maybe we quote the guy 5 hours or something like that. To him, hey, it's $800 or $900, but I don't want to do it myself, and they'll just write us a check, and we make money, and then they have what they want. And as we're doing that, we're building those assemblies into our databases, which make our databases better.
Exactly. That's the way to do it. Perfect. Oh, I'm really happy to hear this.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Well, I appreciate the help, and then now I've got a video to watch, so I think we're going to be able to redo some of these things, especially this last thing that you showed me. I think Jim's going to get excited about that as well. But we'll start getting some assemblies we'd like to build, and maybe you guys can build those, and then we can talk about that next time, and then we can see exactly how they got built, and then we should be off on our own.
Absolutely. That's great to hear, Vince. Let's do it that way.
All right. I appreciate it.
Likewise.
You guys have a great night.
Thank you. Likewise. See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.